If you want to be consistent with your golf game, then you need to nail your takeaway. I see so many people have a poor takeaway position and it sets their swing up for failure and it makes it very difficult to be consistent. Now, the most common issue that I see when it comes to a poor takeaway position is a rolled club to the inside. In this position here, you can see the club head is now a long way behind my hands and also the face is open. My right arm is excessively bent, and essentially from here, we have now set off a chain reaction to where the shaft's going to be excessively flat, and then we are going to have to make some sort of reaction in the downswing and in transition, which tends to be an over-the-top motion. This is going to cause us to be extremely inconsistent out on the golf course, and it's going to result in some poor scores. Now, the most common reason as to why players roll the club to the inside is poor movement with their forearms. What do I mean by this? Well, when I see players roll the club to the inside, I see their left forearm or their lead forearm pass on top of their right forearm. In this situation, this is a one-way street to rolling that club to the inside. Let's give you an analogy to help you fix this inside takeaway. Imagine you're driving a car and you have hold of the steering wheel. If you are a right-handed golfer and you are struggling with an inside takeaway, chances are you are turning the steering wheel to the right in the backswing. You can see as I do this, my lead forearm is passing over my trail forearm. If I set up in my golf posture like this and I do that same feeling, if I turn the steering wheel to the right, you can see my right arm is bending a lot, my left arm is moving on top of it, and look at where my thumbs are pointing right here. This is a representation of where the club will be pointing, and it is a long way behind my body. So with that being said, we know turning the steering wheel to the right now causes an inside takeaway. What are we going to do? We need to turn the steering wheel to the left in order to produce a good result. If I can turn this steering wheel to the left, you can now see my right forearm is staying on top of my left, and in this position it is going to be the complete opposite to what we have just discussed. Now, the reason why this is difficult is because as we are turning the steering wheel to the left, our body is going to be turning to the right. So what I would recommend is grab something like this. Grab a plate or anything like that and just hold it in front of you. Just get used to that sensation of turning the steering wheel to the left. Now, once you've done that a couple times, do that same turning to the left as your body turns to the right. This is a step harder, and you are going to start to feel some different muscles being engaged as you do this. Now, if I take that same feeling and I apply that to where my body is turning to the right but my forearms are turning to the left, you are now going to see a very different look to where my thumbs are pointing and also to how my trail arm is working. So if I do a bad one, you can see thumbs are pointing behind me, right arm is bent. If I do a good one, thumbs are pointing in front of me, right arm is a lot straighter. Now, why is the right arm being straighter going to help us? It's going to help us generate a little bit more width. If I do it from this angle here, you can see as I do that, my right arm is staying very close to me. If I do a good one, my right arm is staying a lot wider away from me. Width is going to help us generate a bigger turn. It's also going to help us get the club more synchronized with our body. So let's take this same analogy and now apply it. So if we see that golf club work inside, we know we are turning that steering wheel to the right. We want to be feeling like we are turning that steering wheel to the left. If we can do that, we're going to see the trail arm be a lot wider. We're going to see the club head stay outside of the hands, and we can also see the club faces matching spine angle. Now from here, if I was to carry this up to left arm parallel, you can see the shaft is going to be in a steeper position. So by feeling our forearms turn to the left, we are turning that steering wheel to the left. We are going to see the club head gets more vertical in the backswing. This is going to help us produce that beautiful steep to shallow pattern. Now, a great drill that is going to give us some visual feedback is just by placing a tee in the butt end of the grip. This tee is going to allow us to see where the shaft is pointing in the takeaway. So if I roll it to the inside, you can now see this tee is pointing out and in front of me. We want to be feeling, as we're turning that steering wheel to the left, that we can get this tee pointing at the right hip. Now again, this is where we can start to talk about exaggerations. If I really want to exaggerate this a crazy amount, let's just say we're rolling it inside loads, and I want to really feel like I'm exaggerating this motion, and again, over exaggerations are a good thing, is that we can feel like this tee is actually pointing behind us. If I don't want to exaggerate it as much and I'm just subtly trying to get it there, I can feel like this is pointing more to my right hip. I can also see this in my periphery, so this is great because it just gives me a little bit of feedback just while I'm hitting shots as to where is that takeaway. If I suddenly see that tee whip that way, I know I've taken the club inside, and then from there I'm probably going to have to take a little bit more time and just over exaggerating these feelings. So Hitting shots whilst doing this, make sure that tee is pointing back at the body, feeling like you're turning that club to the left. Now, just one little bonus tip. As you are doing this, as you are setting up to the golf ball, do this out on the golf course. Before you hit a shot, just make sure you do sort of one takeaway waggle rehearsal. Just feel like you set up to the ball right here, you go turn the steering wheel to the left, bring it back, and then as soon as you're back, take it away and hit. You'll see a lot of the best players in the world do this. JT, Ricky Fowler, a couple of great examples. It just gives them that reminder just before they hit that they can nail the takeaway. Again, the first 2-3 feet of the golf swing are crucial. If we can get this right, it's going to set up the rest of our swing, and from there we're going to be a lot more successful. If you've enjoyed today's video, then please like and subscribe. And if you have any video requests on any topics, then please just drop them down below. I'll answer all of them.